Hello, one and all, and welcome to Overcast. This is the 30th episode of Overcast, your source for everything Overwatch. I am Frostee, joined right here, but actually thousands of miles away, by my friend Chris Matrix. What is going on out there, dude, on the West Coast?
It's not thousands of miles away. Okay, maybe it is, but once you're back a little further or a little closer to the West Coast, it won't be quite that bad.
There we go. At least we're not
Not
thousands
quite
of pixels.
that bad.
Thousands of pixels.
Thousands of pixels away. We'll do that. A few thousand miles of Ethernet cables. We'll do that. Yes, definitely. But I'm doing all right, guys. Welcome to episode 30.
30.
30.
It's catching
of
up to
Overcast. Yes, it's thankfully past my age now, so now I don't feel so old.
There you go.
As always, guys, you can find us on our Twitter at Overcast Show. You can also find us on our website at theovercastshow.blogspot.com. We are under the umbrella of Frozen Fox Radio. That's frozenfoxradio.com. You can also find us on our Facebook page, and if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Podbean, and Stitcher.
Yes.
So, let's get right into it. Frosty, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks since I wasn't on the last episode?
So I've got the debacle, I think, solved with my school applications. I had to deal with somebody that was brand new at one of these schools, and they just had no idea how to process my application. So I'm sitting here, no, I'm not a transfer student, I'm not a new student, I'm a visiting student, and it finally took till yesterday to where they finally confirmed that it's all said and done. I had an official apology from the director of admissions at that school. And yeah, that's how bad the situation got. I finally just emailed the director directly because I was like, you know what, I'm not getting anywhere by calling you or anything. And it was like 10 o'clock at night last Saturday. They emailed me and they were like, yeah, we're sorry. We apologize on behalf of the university, all this other stuff. And I'm like, that's fine. Just let me know it's all good. That's all I cared about. So I got the application in. I've got another application in the University of Denver Law School. And now I'm in that mode where I'm just waiting to hear back. So it's like good and bad because now it's good, so I don't have to do anything. Bad because you're just waiting.
Speaking of waiting,
yes,
I finally got my post-examination scores back, and I killed them.
Boom.
Minimum score to pass was a 45, and I got like a 66.
Excellent.
So, wrecked it.
That's awesome.
So now I'm just waiting to hear back from the jurisdiction I'm applying for to get an interview and do all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yay.
Good luck,
I'm
man.
happy. I'm happy. I found that out last night, actually. Right before I went and got a brand new phone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Finally decided it was time to get with the current gen. Picked up a Note 5. I know the S7 and the Note 6 will be coming out, all that fun stuff soon, but I'll upgrade to that as well.
There you go. Speaking of waiting even more, the division approaches. It approacheth. Your deployment day. Did
you just like go like nerd on me? Like, oh my god, it approaches, guys.
I did. I can't not.
Hey, I'm nerding out on it. You can't deny the division's going to be an amazing title.
Yes.
We are 48-ish, about 50-ish hours out from launch. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
There you go. You're making your supply runs now. Like you're getting
no, I'll
ready.
do that tomorrow after work. I'll do my supply runs then. I've got some of the stuff, but of course there's always last minute, fat kid food and all that. So just to keep the energy levels nice and up. And the relaunch of my stream, of course, is going to be on March 7th.
Yep.
With coinciding with the actual launch of the Division 2, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
It is going to be awesome. We can't wait.
So, guys, this week, it's going to be a fairly short week. We only have a couple topics to hit on. Of course, the beta did see a new patch this week, so we'll be running over the patch notes there, and then we'll go over the Jeff Kaplan video.
We'll talk about Jeff, talk about his beard. And we'll congratulate all of you out there that also got beta access in the latest wave or two that happened in the last week. So,
for sure.
They're coming out like crazy.
Yep. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. One of the big changes per the patch notes.
Pretty substantial.
Yeah. The speed at which a payload moves has been increased for one player's escorting and when... Did I say that right? Escorting. Or when 2 players are escorting. And, of course, the max speed when 3 or more are remains unchanged. This one I'm a little, I guess you could say, indifferent about. Because when it comes to payload maps, you should be focusing on moving the objective. Mm-hmm. The entire team should be focused on moving the objective, not just 1, 2, or 3 players. I mean, we've known for the longest time that if there's more than 3 people on it, it's not going to move faster. Whatever, mm-hmm. But I don't know. I can see it being both a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, I think at the defensive team, it's going to have a little bit of an impact on them because now it's going to go a little bit faster when you get just 2 people on there, even just mm-hmm. 1 person. So that is going to make that payload move a little bit quicker. It'll make the game move a little bit to the final part quicker, but...
Yeah, and that's what I think Blizzard is trying to do with this is because, of course, in the initial phase of beta and also even in this most previous iteration before this patch, payload matches were lasting quite a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been in several payload matches that were upward of 20 minutes.
Yeah, because you can get it to 1 checkpoint. You spend like all the way to time. You can go to overtime to the checkpoint. Mm-hmm. It goes to the checkpoint, and then it goes to the next one. You can test it all the way to the last second. Goes to the next. I mean, those things can stretch out. It's an endurance race at the end.
Yeah, so that's why that's my opinion on how Blizzard is kind of approaching trying to shorten the span of a game, even when overtime is involved, is by making it so. Okay, so when there's only 1 or 2 people on it, it moves faster than normal, which I think is a good move, but I can also see it being a bad move because now people will focus less on the objective and more on just slaying out, which this isn't. That's not what the game's about. Yeah. It's about objective-based team play.
Exactly. You need to be pushing that payload, but the original speed, you kind of knew if you wanted that thing to get cruising, you had to pile on at least most of your team.
Yeah, you needed at least 2 people to have any kind of real meaningful movement.
Yeah.
And me, because I mostly play support, I'm on the payload with the tank most of the time. So.
Exactly. Same here.
And then you've got the pubs who just feel like, oh, I'm going to play Tracer and Reaper, and I'm just going to slay out, and I'm going to automatically win because my team's going to carry me.
I'm just going to hang out and go and kill and get killed or whatever on my own, so that no support is around me or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there's something else you want to talk about. That's the loot boxes. You can change to those.
All sprays and voice lines are now considered common.
Just regular.
Because don't you hate opening up like a loot box, getting like 2 or 3 rares, and they're all voice lines?
Yeah, you see that rare, and you're like, oh yes,
or
yes,
they're all sprays.
Good. Yep.
And it's just
man,
Blizzard, come on! You gave me 3 blues in this, and they're all sprays.
Yeah, it's
no, stop it.
They're stopping it. They're stopping it. Stop it. The player icons and victory poses are now rare, excluding default icons and poses.
Yes, excluding the defaults, of course. The icons, I still think they should be common.
Yeah.
Victory poses definitely should be considered blue, because those things are pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when you get the really funny ones.
I still love the Zenyatta one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Next, touch on rare and epic quantities of credits will now appear more frequently in loot boxes.
I wonder if part of this is their answer, instead of making the loot boxes tailored more towards who you play the most, giving you a better chance at being able to buy what you want.
I think that's what it's geared towards. I'm not going to say I'm unhappy about that, but I will say, like, if you're going to make them appear more frequently, maybe up the amount a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, getting the rare quality shut up phone, I forgot to put you on vibrate. I don't know. Rare and epic quantities of credits just aren't that much. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get we'll be getting them more frequently now, but it's still kind of
needs to be more. That's cool,
no.
But I want more credits. Just give me more. Just pour the money on.
But the one thing I did like, oh my god, phone. Legendary quantities of credits will now appear less frequently. The legendary quantities of credits appear less, which I think is nice, because now when you get a legendary box, it's like, ooh, what cool skin am I going to get?
It means more. It's legendary, right?
Yep.
You're not supposed to get legendary all the time, except for in Legion when it comes out.
Oh, God.
Yeah, still trying to figure out that whole system, but whatevs.
No WoW talk. No WoW talk.
Save that for the other show.
Save that for Morgan's Howl, which, by the way, is also under the umbrella of Frozen Fox Radio.
How about the several behind-the-scenes improvements have been made to the in-game matchmaker, especially for groups and players at higher skill levels?
They're not releasing details on it. They just said that we're making changes.
Yeah. It's like, okay, behind the scenes.
I don't know what those changes are. I honestly don't see any reason to talk about it.
Yeah, this could have been like a stealth thing because you're just saying it's behind the scenes, so why even tell us?
Hey, guys, we're making changes. Cool. You mind telling us what they are?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
No? Okay. Well, then I really don't care.
How about let's roll onto the social wheel, huh? Roll on to the social wheel. All right. I'll stop.
No. That had to be, like, that's like a freak level of pun. All right? That's just not okay. No. Stop it. All right. So they removed the cooldown using voice lines. Whatever. You want to troll. Keep spamming, I once dreamt I was a butterfly at me. Really don't care. I can turn my sound off.
Yep. You do get a timeout, though. You can get a timeout for a few seconds if you keep spamming. Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi there.
Yeah.
But that's really all the social wheel is it's basically a giant trolling tool. But let's get into the hero balance changes.
Let's get into the meat of stuff. So Bastion's out there first. Aim restrictions have been removed when transforming.
Needed, much like how Hanzo and Diva are now.
Yep.
I feel like it was needed to make him a little more viable. And then in his Sentry configuration, when you damage his core, it now does double damage instead of triple damage, which was desperately needed.
Yeah.
When they took half of his effective HP away.
Yeah, they kind of just felt, that he didn't need to be so vulnerable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it works out.
Yeah, and the big ones I wanted to talk about, which we'll only touch on briefly because there's really not much more that need be said about them. Genji and Lucio, their health pools have been reduced from 200 to 150. As a Lucio main, I am happy about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was way too difficult to kill. I mean, me as Lucio, I could live almost forever on the payload just by skirting and wall running around and people can't hit me. I'm too small of a target to have 200 HP. I'm too small and I'm too mobile. Reaper having 250, that's understandable. He's not very mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he can go up and down stuff, but it leaves him extremely vulnerable when he does it. Because he has to stand still in both places in order to do so.
Yep.
Genji, everybody knows how annoying Genji is. Screw that guy.
He's just flying around, climbing, running.
And he's got such a small hitbox that it's not right for him to have 200 HP over a Tracer. A Genji is at times harder to hit than a Tracer.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So, especially if the person knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, sometimes I'll pull out the pistol in an effort to kill him, and it's just like, seriously? It's just like you said, though. Like, both of them are high mobility, small
To be fair,
hitbox.
though, a Mercy should not beat a Genji or a Tracer. I'm just putting it out there.
Hey, if I'm just one-on-one trying to run back and I encounter them, I might as well try to kill them.
Oh, yeah, you can try, but...
And every once in a while I get lucky.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've styled on Genjis and Tracers and Lucios as Mercy before, and it's oh so satisfying. But
yeah,
mechanically, it's not how it's supposed to work.
We'll see. They said it was going to be an experiment, so let's see how it feels. But I think it's a good idea.
I think it was a push in the right direction for them. If they're not where they exactly need to be, I think that they are very close. Very, very close. Next change is going to be Junkrat.
The Riptire.
The Riptire. The health was increased to 150 HP.
It was 50, I think, before.
I think it was a little too much, personally. I think maybe 100 HP would be fine. But that's just me talking.
So now you got this little tire that has as much health as Lucio and Genji running around.
Yeah.
They have this tiny hitbox.
Yeah. If the tire is destroyed now, it no longer detonates, which I do think was needed.
That was appropriate.
I honestly think it's appropriate because if I see a rip tire coming around the corner and I destroy it, I shouldn't die from it.
Yes, and especially now that they have significantly decreased the damage fall off when it's detonation radius. So now it's far more powerful.
Now it's boom. Oh, the rip tire sneezed on you, you're now dead.
Yeah. You can't be far away from it and think, I'm not going to take that much damage now. It's not going to matter.
And not only that, but with effectively tripling the rip tire's HP, if I kill that thing, it damn well better die and not kill me in the process. I don't care if it's 2 or 20 feet away from me. If I kill it before it detonates, it should not kill me.
Yeah, that's your reward for killing it.
Yeah.
That's the point, right? It should be the point.
And one change that I know a lot of people are happy about, I'm actually happy about because I can actually play this hero now, Mei's Endothermic Blaster. Now it has a minimum slow effect, which is applied instantly.
Yes.
How do you stop a Genji and a Tracer? Mei.
There you go.
Yes. With the changes to her right click, being able to fire an extra time in a clip, and with her primary fire now having that slow effect that's put there instantly, she feels so much better to play. Mm-hmm. Just 20 times better. I'm sure my friend Culture is just leaping out of his own skin with joy at these changes. And the other change for Blizzard, her ultimate, the effective radius cannot be blocked by barriers or payloads anymore.
Yeah, that's...
So now the circle actually is a circle unless you put it on a wall, which, well, if you're putting it in that kind of area where a wall's going to be blocking it off, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah, and especially the barriers that people put up. That's the more interesting thing than the payload. So Winston throws down a barrier. Doesn't matter anymore.
We'll talk about Winston in a little bit. But
you want to rub it in with Mercy first. I know.
But we're going to rub it in with Mercy first.
Oh, no. Oh.
She can once again target the souls of dead allies.
Just blow me up.
I know you're pissed about that. But
it just takes getting used to again. Like, I was happy when it was gone.
To be fair, you gotta get good.
I gotta get good. I know.
You gotta get good, son.
It does serve its purpose. I mean, that there is a reason behind it.
Someone dies behind you. You want to be able to still have that option for that, 10 seconds that they're dead.
At least I can't, target them to heal or something still after they're dead.
I'm going to laugh so hard when we play later and I die and you jump to me and get yourself killed.
I've got it on video.
I'm going to laugh so hard. Well, oh yeah, we've already done that, haven't you?
I've done it before, yep. It will not be the last time, I'm sure. I think Chris is going to make a montage of it eventually.
Let's make a montage of how many times Frostee dies by jumping to a dead ally. And there's going to be a counter in the right hand, and if it doesn't reach the triple digits, I will be very disappointed in myself.
Yeah, that'll be good. But like I said, I just got to get used to it. So.
Yep. So now the
Winston.
one change I am legitimately salty about.
Barrier protection, shield.
40% nerf on his barrier.
1,000 to 600.
What the hell, Blizzard? You're gonna... God, I'm glad this is beta. If you're making these changes in live, I would have asked for my money back. I mean, Winston is one of my primary tanks now, and I absolutely love playing him. But now his barrier, it no longer really feels like it's worth putting because it can die so quickly.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge nerf to that barrier. I mean, they said that the reason why is because most people were saying that, oh, well, people just ignored Winston and just left the barrier to be.
Yeah, and
okay.
It even says in the dev comments, with this change, it's now more realistic for players to counter Winston's barrier through normal damage. Why should you be able to counter an ability like that with normal damage?
And not only that, Now
it's
the cooldown
meant to
activates
block
later.
said normal damage. And the cooldown is worse.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Blizzard!
Just kick you while you're down. They're
What are
kicking
you
while you're
doing?
down. So now the cooldown doesn't activate till the barrier expires.
No, I'm just saying thank God this is beta, because if this, like I said, if this were a live release and they ruined one of my favorite heroes like this, I would quit. I would flat out quit.
That sounds like me last week when I was talking about. You remember the forum post? Not to get out too off topic, but when they asked about changing custom things with heroes, so for example, being able to toggle Lucio's wall running, and asking for different things like that.
That was actually the suggestion I made.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That got all that attention.
Well, that raised the uproar of people again saying that they want Mercy's beams to be click on, toggle on and off each beam.
Why?
And I'm like, no. If you do that, I will stop playing Mercy altogether.
Well,
that would be so
if
clunky.
it's a selectable option,
Yes. Then I'm fine with it. If people want to play it like that, that's fine. But I don't want to be forced into that road.
I don't see that change coming through at all. And if it is, it better be toggleable. Like, I better be able to do both.
And I think for
there's no legitimate reason for, now my beam is on you until I lose line of sight.
Or I click off. I have to click off and then try to aim while things are going crazy in front of you to toggle something on and off and still hit the right person.
Like, there's no point.
Yeah, I don't think. And I think other heroes probably think the same way with or players with their heroes. There's probably other changes that I just, personally don't feel as invested in, but I guarantee you that they're going to have to look hard at that. But I think you're in the same road as I was. As long as it's a change that not everybody has to use, if it's toggleable, go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get back on track. Sorry.
Another one that I see why they did it. I don't know if they needed to do it that severely. Was Zarya's projected barrier decreased from 4 seconds to 2? Don't get me wrong, guys. I know exactly why they did that. Believe me, I've fallen victim to a projected barrier Tracer, projected barrier Genji, projected barrier Reaper so many times because it lasts 4 seconds. 4 seconds is a long time.
Especially in a gunfight.
In a gunfight, it is a very long time. Even if you're freaking a Winston who has gone ape and has 1,000 HP, 4 seconds is a long time for someone to be able to do damage to you for free.
Yep.
Essentially. So I see why they did it. I think that with this change, they may need to tweak the amount of boost it gives Zarya up a little bit on projected barrier.
Yeah.
To make her feel like she's kind of more where she used to be.
So she's still getting a bang for her buck there.
So you're still getting the bang for the buck with the projected barrier. So I see exactly why they did it, but I do think they may need to tweak that number. The amount of boost that she gets from the projected barrier a little bit more, because now it's a lot harder to maintain even a mid-level charge of that projected barrier with Zarya.
There you go. And also Zenyatta, kind of a quality of life thing. Players will get a notification from Orb of Harmony or Orb of Destruction or return from a dead target. So finally you can be like, oh, good to know. Right?
Yes! Because you would never know. Like, if you have an Orb of Harmony on somebody and they die behind you, you're not going to know because your indicator's not on, it's not showing on your screen when a person's behind you. So it's just like, oh, I just realized I didn't have an Orb of Harmony on somebody for like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
That's more healing, more effective healing you could have done. Or, hey, I didn't see that guy die because he died behind me. Now I don't know that my Orb of Discord isn't out. So honestly needed. So I'm very happy to see that come through.
And they wrapped it up with just random crash fixes and stuff like that. Really, nothing ground shattering, earth shattering with that.
Mm-hmm.
So how about we get on to Jeff Kaplan? Kaplan spoke this week. He showed himself again. The beard's still making that comeback.
Woo!
Kaplan! What would you say? Would you think his beard's making got a 30% buff this week? What's the numbers you put on that?
I put 12.5%.
12.5%.
12.5% buff to JCap's beard. May it forever rest in peace. May it return from the grave very, very soon.
Yep. And
with less gray hair.
He knows that we are dying to get ranked play at some point.
Yes. And they are working on it, guys. Trust me, they're working on it. But they're not going to tell us anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've told us ways they're experimenting, the pros and cons, all of that. But ultimately, they're still rattling their brains on it. And honestly, they can take their time with it. If it doesn't make release, I'm perfectly fine with that.
And he said it was a possibility. So
yeah, it is a possibility.
Not come out yet. Yeah.
And we may see 1 or 2 iterations of ranked play in the beta before release, and then not see it on release.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? That's how beta goes. That's what a beta test is for.
That's just how it goes with games nowadays, especially ones like this that are living and breathing even after release.
To be fair, though, most people expect whatever's in a beta is going to be in release.
That's true.
And people need to get that image and that expectation out of their daggone minds, because we are essentially playing the game before release, but we are testing the game before release. We are giving our feedback each and every week, each and every cycle to the developers so they can make the respective changes to the game. Yeah. If they don't feel the ranked play that they may or may not have in before release isn't suitable for a live environment, they're not going to put it in, and you have to be okay with that.
Yes.
If you are not, there's the door. Don't let it hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where he made the made the difference and made it really clear. This is not early access. If it was early access, this would be a whole different thing.
If this were early access, people would be able to buy their way in.
Exactly. This is not early access. This is not access to a game that's in its finished state. This is testing. This is experimentation. Just like Blizzard said.
Yeah, this is where a random chosen group of people from the community who signed up for the beta were brought in to test and give their feedback. People from all walks of life, from all locations around the world, with all different kinds of backgrounds. We're all testing the game and giving our feedback. All kinds of skill levels, all kinds of levels of dedication to Blizzard. There's people who have never played a Blizzard game.
Or an FPS, even.
Or an FPS before.
Yeah.
Or a Blizzard FPS before. Which, guess what? There hasn't been one. So, hey, we all fit into that demographic.
Ding. There we go.
StarCraft Ghost, may you forever rest in peace.
There you go.
Anyways.
Matchmaking. He did take some time to address matchmaking. And we were talking before the show about it, how matchmaking, honestly, is the number by your name. It doesn't mean that you're getting matched up with a crappy player. Honestly.
Exactly.
Unless it's me. Just kidding.
Unless it's Frosty Fox, in which case you should alt F4 immediately.
Just immediately abandon that game.
Just abort.
Yes.
If he's on the enemy team, by all means, stay in, because free win. Hey!
Easy kills. He'll be jumping to dead heroes. You just wait, set the trap. That's what it is. Just bait the trap.
just if you're Reinhardt, just kill someone, stand on their corpse, and just wait for him to fly to you.
Exactly. But
like a Venus flytrap.
He made the point, though. Overwatch is a game, like many games, that he wants to be able to play with your friends.
Yes.
Okay. That's what the game's about. It's not like we don't want you to not bring your friends along because they're not as experienced or anything like that. We want you to get together with your friends, have a fun time in the game. I mean, ranked play is a different story, of course. But if you're just playing to play, it's a fantastic game to play with friends. And
I agree.
That's what they want. They talk about how hero switching. That's part of the other thing. Is like some people play predominantly one character. Me.
No, you don't say.
And the matchmaker doesn't necessarily know who you play predominantly. It doesn't take that
this guy only plays Mercy, and he's terrible at it. Let's put him in there with all the top elo guys so they can make fun of him.
So that's why you end up in some of the matches when everybody wants to be Tracer. Like, there's 3 people that are Tracer, or 4 people that want to be Reaper, and nobody wants to back down. We always talk about those standoffs that you get sometimes.
Which is why, in the video, Jeff Kaplan even stated they are working on a competitive game mode. Whether that's ranked play or not is still up to Blizzard.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see if they do something Heroes-like, where they have like kind of Hero League, Team League kind of things.
I don't foresee that happening. I mean, it works all right for a MOBA. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't think it works too well in Heroes of the Storm. I know that they're already working on tweaking said things.
Yep.
But I don't see that working well in Overwatch either.
Yeah, I think that's part of it is that they see how it's working out with games like Heroes.
Yep.
And they're already taking those lessons into account. And one of the last things from the video I wanted to talk about was how they talked about, and they said before in a post, I think a week or two ago, but he said it again in the video, how they kind of wish that they had done the beta differently. Maybe not even called it a beta, maybe have initially called it an alpha. When they opened up the signups, when you could check that little box we always tell you to check, I think they said there was upwards of 7-8 million people that opted in.
Yeah, a lot of people.
A lot of people opted in. And he said that he wished that maybe they would have called it alpha to kind of lower the expectation that you're going to get in, because there's a very small percentage, like an infinitesimally small percentage of those people are actually in the game right now.
It was like less than 0.5%, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people thought, oh, it's beta, and beta means like tons of us are going to get in. And then there was the whole thing about how it's all streamers that got in, it's all content creators. And he dispelled that with that was like maybe 1% of the invites.
Maybe 1% of the invites.
Yeah.
That was 1% of the 0.5% that got in. So think of how minuscule that number is. If I remember correctly, I think there was somewhere around maybe 10,000 people in the first phase of beta.
Something like that, yeah.
In the entire first phase, it was like somewhere. I don't know the exact numbers, guys. I am literally just estimating off of my experience.
It wasn't big though. It was not big at all.
Maybe between 10 to 20,000 people at most, and even then, not everybody was concurrent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a very, very, very small number compared to the people that signed up. So yeah, people were pissed.
But with that said, the number of waves recently have been a lot. They've been surprising. Like when the beta came back,
too.
Yeah, I thought when the game came back, I had the feeling from what I had read and heard, there was going to be maybe we knew there was going to be a wave when it came back, and maybe a one or two more. And I think after the last wave, that's probably like 6 or 7 invite waves now that have gone out.
A couple of my friends have actually managed to get in now, and they are absolutely loving it. Yeah. And they're like, "Damn you for not getting me in sooner." I tell them I have no power with Blizzard. Sorry. So
it's not like we can just wave our magic wand and get people in. So
yeah, if we could do that, there'd be a lot more people listening to this podcast.
I know, right? But with that said, and like he put it out, and I'm going to reiterate the same thing. The game, if everything goes on track, worst case scenario, end of spring, the game will be in your hands. You can just play it anyway, in a released version, on your console, on your PC, wherever you want to play it.
PC Master Race.
It's getting closer. It's getting closer. Just if you don't get in, don't worry about it. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say since I am in, but
okay, now you're just getting me like more hyped for the division because it's 48 hours away. Moving on.
Moving on. I did not see any questions for us this week.
No questions this week, guys.
If you have questions, ask us. Just hashtag AskOvercast. You can tweet at Chris, tweet at me, you can tweet at the show.
I am at Matrix Overwatch. Frostee is, of course, at Frosty Fox.
There you go.
Hey.
You can go Overcast Show. That's how you can get a hold of us. And as we say that, I'm going to use that to wrap up the show. Remember, you can connect with us on Twitter at Overcast Show. You can go to theovercastshow.blogspot.com where you can find our show notes for the show. The audio and video copies of the show are hosted on there as well. Thank you for listening to the audio version. If you're either on iTunes, Stitcher, or Podbean, please give us a good review. We'd love that. We love getting those thumbs up. Also, remember to go to frozenfoxradio.com where you can listen and learn about this and all the other shows that the network has to offer. I think that brings us to the end. So, congrats for us, 30th episode. Woo!
30 episodes down! And guys, just as a quick post note, do not forget, March 7th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is the launch of my new Twitch channel. You can find that at twitch.tv/MatrixOverwatch, just like all my other social media. I'll be on there. I hope you turn up, because we are going to be turning down for what? We are. It's gonna be an amazing evening. I hope to do a few giveaways as well, provided we hit some certain milestones, and we're just gonna have a good time. We'll be playing the Division. If I feel a little frisky and I get enough people on, we could do some Overwatch as well. Let's just have a good time, guys.
Just have a good time. It's gonna be a great event. I can't wait to see it, man.
Yep.
So there you go. Everybody, have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here to wrap things up with the latest news from Overwatch. This is Overcast episode 30. I'm Frosty.
And I'm Chris.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Be good to one another.